Hi, this is William B. Davis, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Robertson with a program note. This edition of This Week in TV History originally aired in January 2011. In the meantime, Tony, what else do you have for us this week?
All right, tonight we got a lot of premieres, a lot of milestones. Let's start with January 10th, 1971. That was when Masterpiece Theater premiered.
I was going to say with Alistair Bannister.
Bannister, which was
the Captain and Tennille.
Yeah, from the Captain and Tennille
show.
variety
The one memorable part about the Captain and Tennille.
Did they call it? What did they call it? Master Joke Theater.
Master Joke Theater. Didn't the Muppets also do a parody of?
I think on Sesame Street had Cookie Monster as Alistair Cookie.
That's right.
On Monsterpiece
Theater. That's right.
And when I was a very sophomore teenager, I had a different name for the show.
Which would be?
I will not say.
Oh.
But you can use your imagination.
Okay.
When it was a matter of who got to watch the show on the color TV versus the black and white TV, and my mom would always want to watch Masterpiece Theater, and I believe it was Claudius that she wanted to see. She had to see it on the color TV, and then I was...
I remember that back in the days before color TVs were as mainstream as they are today.
Your primary might be a color, but then you had the black and white. That was maybe your backup TV.
That's right. And when my father worked, my father worked nights for 30 years, and so Saturday nights and Sunday nights, the television was his domain. And so when we got our first color set in '74, whatever he wanted to watch was on the color set, and everyone else had to watch it in the dining room set, which is the old funky black and white one.
So, my dad had a black and white in the bedroom, and the living room TV was in color. But if the fights were on, you watched the fights in color. Yeah. So we had that. But I think it was Claudius. I don't think it was Upstairs, Downstairs, which are the two, I think, cornerstones of Masterpiece Theater.
Yeah,
so I would dismiss the show by using my creative language.
You mentioned the 40th anniversary of the premiere of Masterpiece Theater. I think the 40th anniversary it's either the 40th or the 35th anniversary of Upstairs, Downstairs. It's coming out later this month on DVD. So
yeah, it's 1974 to 1977. I believe it was Upstairs, and they're revising that. It would be like the next generation.
I believe they are.
They're jumping ahead 30 years, new family, but the basic dynamic of the show will still be intact.
Yes, it'll be called Upstairs, Downstairs Duplex.
And I believe there's another show PBS now has. It's like Masterpiece Contemporary.
Yeah, I mean,
so instead of having more theatrical stuff, it'll be more film oriented and more modern day shows,
and a lot of one shot things. Because one of these days we should do a program on miniseries because so many. Before the miniseries genre became popular here on American television in the 70s and 80s, I mean, the British were doing, and that's what Masterpiece Theater did, and they aired a lot of great British miniseries.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we have, we always talk about a British invasion with music, but we've had a strong British invasion with television, where there was, Masterpiece Theater with Upstairs, Downstairs, Fawlty Towers, Benny Hill, and then all the shows that inspired American shows, from All in the Family to Three's Company to Sanford and Son to The Office, and all the American shows that attempted to copy what they did in England and failed miserably.
Absolutely.
I mean, we could do a whole hour on that.
Yeah, or then just some of the things like I believe Poldark with Robin Ellis was a Masterpiece Theater show, as was Lord Peter Wimsey, sort of one of the original armchair detectives or parlor detectives from the British genre, and then I think the original Miss Marple.
Yeah, I think that was in there.
Dame Edith Evans version on Masterpiece Theater.
So I mean that has a wonderful history, and that is. We talked about people with public television in the past, and just to have people exposed to this type of incredible work. I mean, I think for a lot of people across the United States, this was as close as they went to theater.
Exactly, and of course, Alistair Cooke, before doing Masterpiece Theater in the 70s, he did Omnibus for NBC, which was sort of not quite a precursor. I mean, it was a precursor in the sense in that it was a weekly introduction to culture, opera and live stage shows on Sunday afternoons, stuff that you would see a lot of on television in the early days, but it was not something that you would air during prime time.
Exactly. Now, it's kind of funny when we look at the history of television, when television was a rich person's toy, which was mostly East Coast elitist, and I'm going to use that term in the most positive sense possible. That's what they watched. They watched operas, they watched symphonies, they watched foreign films. When television sets were becoming cheaper and available across the country, that was what a lot of people would consider the end of the golden age. And now, all of that quality stuff gets relegated to public television.
Yeah.
And it's always struggling to stay on. And I always hear the arguments, well, you got Discovery, you got this channel, you got this channel. Yeah, well, if you can have cable, if you have that disposable income, if you have access to that, if your carrier carries this stuff.
That's right.
You might get the home shopping channel and the golf channel, not exactly culture, all due respect. But, this is, for a lot of people across the country, I think this was their cultural, nourishment that they had. And that was it. They never got to see a Broadway play. They never got to, we're beneficial. We have the benefit of living in a major metropolitan city. And you're from San Francisco and you had great theater up there. Without this, I think a lot of people were never exposed to that.
And again, it was a Sunday night staple. Now it's a Monday night staple. But for years, for 4 decades, it was a Sunday night staple.
Yeah, you had Alistair Cook and Russell Baker. We have to give him
That's
props.
Right.
Let's move on to January 12th, 1949. Kukla, Fran and Ollie.
Right, Kukla, Fran and Ollie, one of the first network shows on NBC. Of course, they started off in Chicago.
They were in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we will be interviewing. There's a brand new. If I can do a little bit of cross promotion, there's a brand new 20 episode DVD release featuring 20 of the early NBC Kukla, Friends and Ollie remastered from the original Kinescope. That'll be coming up. Mark Milano, the producer of that DVD, and also the webmaster, the official Kukla, Fran and Ollie website, will be appearing on our show the week of January 31st. We'll be talking about that in great detail.
No, you look at the old kinescopes, and you could see the puppet theater was pretty much framed to the TV set, and of course the TV screen was about the size of your DVD case. And so, it was very well produced for television. And around the same time, Jim Henson was doing the same thing, I think, out of Boston at that point. And you can see these are earlier things. But, you mentioned Chicago. There is a museum to television broadcasting in Chicago, which I so want to go visit the next time I'm in that area. We could cover a lot. Dave Garroway started out of there. So a lot of our staples actually started out in the Midwest.
Yeah, we can do it. We ought to do a program on Chicago television.
Well, Bozo. Off of, even though Bozo's technically an Angelino property, but I think Bozo, as a franchise, probably the best-known franchise without Chicago.
And maybe Second City being number 2.
Yes, definitely Second City. We owe so much to Second City with modern American comedy.
Earl Camembert.
Well, not just SCTV.
I know. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
You can enjoy Tony Figueroa's standalone podcast this week in TV history, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find audio.